Yeah, I think earlier on, yes, but now that I've had more opportunities come my way, I'm looking for ways to escape art a bit. It can, when people say, like, if you do what you love, then it's not a job, but technically it is a job because now you have outside people coming to you to do work for them, which eventually you have to make money for. But the more you cut down what you want, and you're able to say, like, okay, I did this opportunity years ago. That's not what I want to do now. I want to take it up for. So now you're able to eliminate the things that you don't want. But, you do need a balance because work, you can get caught up in work and then you need something else to, ease the plane. Like, all right, I need a break from whatever I'm doing. And then that's your escapism from that. And then once you've done that, then you're able to go back to what you've been doing before. So I would say yes. Um, I mean, it pretty much goes all the way back to elementary school. Um, as like we grow up as kids, we're always drawing. But there's a certain group of kids who just keep it going. So, I remember having my mom give me the whole paint set where it has the crayons and the paint and the oil pastels, all of the mediums. And that's where I pretty much remember me being in the room and creating what I wanted to create. But in elementary school, I drew a cover of I forget what book it was, but it was of a character in a crocodile. And my teacher was very impressed to the point where she took me out of class and showed it to an art teacher. I think it was the middle school art teacher, and I remember her saying that it was really good, and that made me feel a way. So I kind of felt special in that moment. So that's the only earliest memory I can have. Um, yeah, it's where you can pretty much. I use it as a therapy tool, um, and yeah, there's many definitions of it, but I think it's just self-expression, pretty much how you feel about yourself or about others or about other situations that happen in the world. And yeah, art can be anything, pretty much. Um, it varies. Like I could watch a show or be inspired by a movie or what someone's wearing, or like I'll go into grocery stores or Target, Walmart's, and then I'll see like a certain color palette. I'm like, oh, I would want that in an art piece, and so it's basically taking reference of things that are around me, and I kind of just boil it all together, whether I'm sketching or on Photoshop or just I go straight to the canvas. And pretty much put out my ideas in that way. And I think my main thing is experimenting first before I even start a big project or a certain series of pieces. Um, so I think more so it's about sketching first, setting down the blueprint of what I want to create. So no, no, it's just one of those things that I've always done, but no one really knew. Before earlier when I was younger, I would draw from music artists that I listened to, athletes, people in magazines, and just from there on, I kept that as I got older. It never went away, but I've been able to be more precautious about what I put on there on my artwork. If it makes sense to the audience, because sometimes I could like draw uh, an athlete, and someone might think, well, this has nothing to do with what you do currently, but it's always something I've done, but people don't always see it. But I think now I just take certain references and I jumble them up so I can just create my own character. So I can take a photo from one magazine and this other magazine, and then I just create my own person. So I might take this person's eyes and nose, while I take this person's lips and head shape and then I just mold it into a totally different individual to the point where it's really no one who exists, but someone that I just created on my own. Preferably social media, Instagram. Earlier on, it was Tumblr, which was that was fun, and that's where I pretty much got like my inspiration and references from. Um, but now that's Tumblr is basically Instagram in a kind of little in a sense, but Instagram is preferably the place that I use. So in 2015, I taught myself how to paint. Before that, I was pretty much drawing, oil pastels, colored pencils. I did one paint project, but that was it. It was just for school, so I had to do it for school to get a grade. Um, but in 2015, around the time where I wanted to transition into murals, um, I had to learn how to paint. So I remember my mom sending me links about wall therapy and showing me the murals and saying this is what's going on. And I was just like, this is cool. I want to do something like that. So obviously, I had to learn the technique. So before 2015, me and my mom went to go to wall therapy for the first time to check out the murals. And we met Eric Lehman and Ian. And of course, I didn't want to bother them because they were currently at work. They were tending to other artists doing the murals and giving them supplies. And my mom encouraged me to speak with them, like say something, like just say that you're an artist in Rochester, and just kind of network with them. And I did, and they were very, very responsive, and they've seen my work around the city, and that was it. And I told them, like, is there any way I can, like, be involved or volunteer? And Eric told me to go on the website. And so I was looking to volunteer before I, doing a mural, because from what I've learned is that you have to put in the work before you have an opportunity like that. Because I've seen artists in the past do it for years and now they finally had the opportunity to do a mural. So 2015 hits, I think it was around April, maybe April, May. Um, Ian Wilson calls me up while I was at work and says, like, hey, do you want to be one of the local artists for wall therapy? And, at the time, I only did one painting, and that was a self-portrait of myself, but I wasn't going to say no. So I said yes, and that was that. And the theme was, I believe, surrealism. So also diving into a subject matter that I haven't dived in. So doing that, I was nervous. Like, they sent me a picture of the wall. It looked small from the picture, but as I got to it, it was just like, all right, this is a whole storefront. And that was the first time I did my first mural. It was 85 degrees or higher every day. The sun was just hitting me. But I had to get the work done, and I got it done on the last day of the festival. So it was an experience. It was quite the experience, and I'm happy about what all the artists around me taught me, and it's been pushing me forward. So if it wasn't for wall therapy, I probably wouldn't be doing the stuff that I will be today. I think the overall message is to basically have your own interpretation of life. I think sometimes we can get caught up in what's going on today, and we want to implement that in our art, and that's fine. But at the same time, you have to have fun. You have to enjoy what you're doing, and that's one of my main things is to have fun with what you're doing. Whether it's with color, whether it's whatever you want to do, like have fun doing it, and just enjoy yourself. Like there's just going to be so many aspects that's going to pull you down, and you just have to figure out how to overcome that. But I think just with my art, I want people to have their own interpretation of what it is instead of me giving them a backstory. And they can say, oh, that I didn't see it that way. But it's my ability to be like, okay, what do you think about it? Like, what does this piece mean to you instead of what it means to me? Because it's not about me at the